April Fools.
Actually, I think it's, hold on. It is, April 7th.
Well, yeah, well, they know what I mean. We're back.
And better than ever. We're Tails 2.9 and a half and 3/4.
Isn't this like the third rebrand we've done?
I mean, technically, this one isn't even a rebrand. This is just
a reformatting,
adding a new
element.
Yeah, that one seems a lot more fitting.
Yeah. Do you want to let them know what that is?
Bum. Crimes of trueness.
Yes. True crimes. I think for these first couple ones, we probably best to try to tie into paranormal, but going forward, we are going to be doing more like true crime and to see if we can find tie-ins to the paranormal. But I don't know, man. I'm really excited.
It'll definitely be interesting to see. Like I said, I've never done true crime, so Duffy's going to be the leads on this one because that's his realm of expertise. But I think it'll.
Why'd you say it like that, man? We're like, because
you're a master.
People?
Yes.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
He murders many a people. Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist. Yeah, he murdered him.
Jesus.
It just hasn't been reported yet. And the Jeff Dunham.
I turned him into a giant puppet. Nobody's ever going to know.
Yep. So he ventriloquist the ventriloquist.
Is that a ventriloquist?
Yes.
Ah!
And if you'll excuse me, I have to go take a ventrilo piss. Ha. I don't really. I just wanted to fit it in there.
That's bad.
God damn it. You leave me alone. I'm trying here.
I'm trying here.
It's been a long weekend with not much sleep. All right, leave me alone. I'm trying.
Oh, man, it's good to be back.
It is.
Life gets in the way.
I was also wondering, though, if I should keep the Tails voice or kind of switch it for the new format. But
switch to your real voice? Hey, guys.
Where's my bike?
That'd be hilarious. That's your real voice. Oh, good stuff.
I don't know. I might try normal voice in the next episode and see how that goes. Just because doing this for so many years is wearing and tearing on these vocal cords. I'm not a professional singer.
Yes, you are.
I've got the black lung.
Some say you are the Barbra Streisand of our generation.
Yes, I'm hooked on a feeling, as she said.
That's not her at all. As you were way off there, bud.
Oh, true. That was a blue suede shoes.
That's Elvis. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to confuse you, but it's not working.
She said her famous song, Dancing in the Moonlight. I didn't know Barbra Streisand was in King Harvest.
Wasn't, what's her face? Dolly Parton, the one that sings Gangster's Paradise?
Yes, that was her. And then Coolio did a cover of it.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, God. I want to find one of those AI apps that does the voice, it gives you a list of celebrities, then you just clip the video into there and then it sings it in their voice. I want to do Gangster's Paradise, but as Dolly Parton.
Oh God, that would be hilarious.
It would be amazing.
Yet terrifying.
We get enough fucking likes. Let's see if we can get her to actually do it.
Right. If you can share this episode and get it out there more than normal, we will try and get Dolly Parton to record something for the podcast.
Or we need you to record this. Our all followers, they did what we said. She'd be like, no. No, I'm not asking. No, I'm telling you.
I don't sing that gang banging craziness shit. Come on now.
Under her hair, it's an actual wig.
Right.
It's just blonde Coolio hair.
Oh no, I think that would be absolutely terrifying. That would be scarier than the fucking ghost at my old house.
Would it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd actually be a lot more terrified than that. Because that thing really never did anything. It just fucked with me and terrifying me.
It just watched you?
Basically.
What a fucking pervert.
I mean, who knows? We don't know who died in that house, who lived in it, where. Yeah, I don't know.
You can't get the records from the city?
I never tried, honestly. I probably could if I went back to the listing because, yeah, my old haunted house that I've told many a story about on here is actually for sale right now.
Right. We were talking about that the other day. It's a fairly decent price for what you're getting. But then you're like, ghost. I was like, never mind.
Yeah. I don't I still don't fancy that back door right at the foot of my bed. That's something I'll never get used to.
Yeah, that looked unsettling, especially from like when you were telling me the stories about that. I was like, oh, that's like fucking close. That's terrifying just to fucking see all that shit there. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it was it's definitely avoidable. Even my cousin's old house, driving by there just never feels right. As soon as you get like within the realm of the yard, just the whole atmosphere changes.
Yeah, Dave, you told your cousin that that house is for sale?
Yeah, he's the one that told me. He had called me and he's like, yeah, I wanted to go inside and see if they'd show, let me see it. But he said he couldn't even make it past the gate, which I don't blame him. We had a lot of crazy shit happen.
Oh, like he couldn't bring himself to go past the gate, or like he was scared, or okay, I thought
just from all the shit that happened.
Okay, I thought you meant like the
day.
gate was locked. I was like, well, why didn't you call the owner?
No, it was open when he went by. He just couldn't bring himself past that due to all the shit that happened when we were kids.
I don't blame him. All that shit sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely no fun. So if you haven't yet, go back and listen to some of the episodes. I can't for the life of me remember what they're called, but the description of the episode will explain that it is our personal stories.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on there. I would really love to see if we can actually get in and like investigate, but I doubt that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good for the fucking market.
Right. Oh yeah, paranormal investigation, and now no one's buying the house. We have to put it down to $10.
A podcaster got killed by ghosts in here.
Oh no. As long as it's not one of us.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's probably going to be one of us.
No.
I am willing to make that sacrifice so we can have a cheap house to record.
We'll bring Daddy Fat Sex on for that one.
Yeah. We'll send him in first.
It'll go after the old one. Age before beauty.
Yeah, we'll have to send him in first. We'll be like, hey, we need you to get something for us in there real quick, and just close the door behind him. El Cuckoo's gonna get you.
And he was never heard from again.
Fuck that, he probably jumped through the window.
Right?
Yeah, stuntman.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Speaking of fuck that shit, I'm out. What do you have for the nice people today?
Well, since you're the one that found it, and I don't want to butcher the names since I can pronounce things in Spanish, but I gotta typically hear them a few times first, I will let you lead the way on our first crime / this is actually a good one because this is a mix of crime, possibly crime from the ending that I heard and what he might have gotten himself into, but also paranormal.
All right. So today's episode was brought to you by me. I'm just kidding.
Bum, bum, bum. He's a sponsor.
I sponsored it with my shenanigans.
Yes.
So today's is just some cases about an episode of La Mano Peluda, which just as a background. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. I think you told me that you had, like, vaguely. I think we had talked about it once before.
Yeah, we have, but if you want to bring the refresher, I'm game for that one.
Okay, so what La Mano Peluda basically was it's a very popular radio show that, like, it broadcasts out of Mexico, but it does, like, it's coast to coast in the United States. So it's like a really big, like, radio station. I feel like I've listened to it a couple of times with, like, my older brother.
Yeah.
But the whole show spanned, like, 2 decades. And basically what it was is a show where people would call in and they'd give them, like, they give the host, his name was Juan Ramon Sanz. And he was the host for, like, 1995 to, I want to say, like, 2010, around there.
Goddamn.
Ish. Yeah. He was there for a minute. But callers would call in and tell them, like, their paranormal stories, and they'd, like, seek help and whatnot. But like I said, he was the host for, like, 95 to 2010. And then it's still going on right now. But it's currently being hosted by Ruben Garcia Castillos. But the whole thing is that the original host died in, like, a really weird, mysterious way that, like, a lot of things combine to, like, make it seem as there's some kind of, like, paranormal foul play. And basically what we're going to be going through is a case that he had taken on while he was the host of La Mano Peluda.
Which might have been the reason for his demise.
Yes, sir. So the case is of Josue Velasquez. Sorry, so I forgot to fill in. So, like I said, a lot of people think that this case directly influenced
The
Robert,
death.
the death of the original host, Juan Ramon Sanz. I'm just calling him Juan or
Yeah.
Mr. Sanz. So, what I'm gonna do here is, since it's like we said, it's kind of like a new format. I'm gonna just tell you guys like the information I have, and then we can go back and like review and question it and poke more into it.
Okay.
So the case was Josue Velasquez. He called the radio show from El Monte, California. So he called from California. And what he told Juan Ramon Sanz, or Mr. Sanz, there were so many listeners for this episode because he had like announced it ahead of time. So he basically told Mr. Sanz, what Josue told him was when he was 16, his family was really poor. Like they didn't have like a lot of money. It was him, his sister, his brother, his mom, and their grandmother that all lived like in a small house in Mexico. And he worked and worked and worked, but they could never get ahead, which is unfortunately a lot of how Mexico runs. Like everything, like it's cheaper, but that's if you have already money. If you're poor in Mexico, you're like poor.
Well, I mean, that's honestly kind of the way it's going here now. If if you have a job, you're able to make it, but just barely.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Here is like everything's so expensive. In Mexico, everything's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the money, like you're not already set.
Yourself up
Yep.
there.
It's harder to get ahead over there.
Which can be a nightmare in and of itself.
That's why a lot of people go from like Mexico to here, then they send money over there because they're like, our money's worth more than what theirs is.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we can just get a leg up. But basically, what they told Mr. Sanz was when he was 16, he was really poor. He tried to like everything to get ahead, but he couldn't.
Right.
So what he ended up finding was a Hebrew book that details like step by step on how to summon a demon.
So my question is, would that be similar to then like a Dybbuk or something of that nature?
If anything, it'd be more like, what was his name? Like Robert Johnson, the dude. He was a musician. He sold his soul to the devil, but instead of selling soul to the devil, he made a pact with the demon in exchange for money and economic power. But the whole thing was it's super fucked up. I'll get more into it when we go.
Okay.
So just remember that part. So he wanted to basically make a pact so he could like help his family out.
Right.
We're really poor. I want to be able to provide for my family and all that. So what had happened was in that book he had summoned a demon. He kept trying to summon a demon using that book. But nothing was happening. Like, nothing happened. Like, So
he noticed nothing bountiful.
Pretty much. So he did that for like a couple months, and then nothing had happened. And in frustration, he has sliced his arm open, and he yelled the name of a different demon. And a demon ended up appearing to him. It was like a tall, slender, like dark-figured kind of person.
Yeah.
And it basically told them what to do, and that's how they would gain, like, riches and all that. And what ended up happening was he did what the demon said, but he was realizing that there was, like, no changes whatsoever. Nothing was happening.
Yeah.
So in frustration, he yelled out another demon's name. And then later that night, he had gone to bed, and he's like, oh, okay, well, let's see what happens.
Right.
And he woke up in the middle of the night to screaming. He heard screaming coming from his mom's room. And what had happened was when he walked in, he had saw like a giant pig standing on its back legs, and it was attacking his mom.
Which is terrifying because a giant pig.
Yep. So what ended up happening at that point, what he has said was that him and the pig flew away to like a cave, and it's not 100% clear if the demon gave him this item or if he had to forge it himself. But he basically gave him a ring called the Ring of King Solomon. And if I'll find a picture and I'll show you guys. Well, I'll show you.
Okay.
It has like a bunch of like weird symbols all over it. And basically what it did was it granted him like the amount of like the power and like the measures of money that he wanted.
Yeah.
So he gave him the ring, but he realized that it wasn't really working yet. And then he found out the catch. The catch of the ring is he had to sacrifice somebody to get the ring going. So he's like, well, I can't do my mom, sister, or my brother because this is who I'm doing it for. And he's like, my grandmother's older. So she's already lived a good life. Like, she'll be fine. So he ended up killing her.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, and how he described it was really brutal and like, it was hardcore. But the strange thing is when they went to investigate it, the cops chalked it down as like natural causes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So then after that, the ring started going. He got like, he went to school to be a bioengineer. And that takes a lot of years. And he said he completed the whole program in maybe like a year.
Damn.
So that's like a 9-year course. So he said that the ring was going and like everything's perfectly fine. But then he starts describing that the catch of the ring, where it's super fucked up, is he isn't allowed to help anybody out with money. So he said that he gained about like 15,000 every day.
Yeah.
And the second catch, yeah.
He has to use it that same day, right?
Yes, sir. You have to use the cash or else it's going to disappear on you. And he can't help. He can't give anybody money. He can't, like, he said that one time he had given money to, like, this lady who was, like, her son died or something like that.
Yeah.
And they gave him the money for it, like, to help him out. And then every single day after that, he saw, like, a tall lady with, like, long black hair. And she was, like, hideous looking, but she didn't have any legs. And she attacked him. And then she was like tormenting him. So ever since he helped out with that money, every single day he kept seeing her. Like she wouldn't go away.
Okay. And then it looks like any time that he tried to use his money to help people, it would attack him.
Yeah. That's basically so
that's some twisted shit.
Yeah, so he could never give like the money to help anybody out. So when he did this call with Mr. Sanz, during the phone call, Mr. Sanz said that in the background he can hear like wailing and like screaming and shit like that, like crazy sounds.
Jesus.
And yeah, he said that Jose had to stop because she was right behind him and like it was messing with like the phone call. And he said he had to light a candle because the thing was bothering him, the creature was bothering him. And they were sitting in front of him, and the noises that basically you could hear were like, they were terrifying, like he was in pain.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he continued to tell Mr. Sanz, like, nah, those noises don't scare me or whatever, but then he just broke down and started crying. And the crazier thing is you'd be like, no, please leave me alone. And she had some kind of like symbol on with her, like an inverted cross, something like that. And he would start crying like it hurt him. And
well, I can see why.
Yeah, because they said that the symbol, like when he saw the symbol, it signified that he was gonna die.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Are you a huge cunt?
Us too. Wait, can we even say cunt?
Of course! It's empowering these days. Cunt, 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 cunt. I'm Ange Ballastone, aka the drag queen, That Girl Gina.
And I'm Mike Fales, just a normal gay guy, I guess?
And we're the hosts of The Big Cunty Couch,
a gorgeous new talk show podcast where we invite queers and peers to sit, bitch, and be fierce on a huge-ass couch.
while we gab about all things gay.
So come get cozy
And cunty.
with us. We're panned for platforms, so find us anywhere online and get listening, sweetie.
Or watching.
Or both.
Otherwise, why the hell am I in full drag?
And we'll see you on the big Oh, wait, I thought we were going to say that together.
No, on The Big Cunty Couch. Mwah.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a thing. Like just sitting there and knowing, okay, as soon as I see this symbol, well, bye guys, time for me to make a nights.
Pretty much, yeah. And then Mr. Sanz later recalled that during the phone call, everything started feeling like uneasy. Like the room he was in, because remember, this is over a radio station. He called in.
Yeah.
They're not in the same fucking room. So during the whole interview, felt like everything was like really like there's something really off about this.
Yeah.
He said that the room got unbelievably cold, and then like halfway through the conversation, he called the priest down to see if he can help him Josue out, but he couldn't. And that's where things start getting weird because Mr. Sanz and the priest were reading from a Bible.
Yeah.
And the pages from the Bible started to curl up on its own. And there's a laptop that basically like exploded right next to him during like this whole conversation.
Which that's not traditional when it comes to any sort of radio shows or really anything.
Yeah. So fast forward 9 years after this radio conversation, Juan Ramon Sanz, he left the La Mano Peluda, like the what's it called? He left like the show.
Yeah.
And there's a channel I've talked about before. It's called TV Azteca. And they do like all the paranormal shows, like the crazy like Spanish paranormal shows. I think what I talked about a couple times on here.
Yeah.
Where they give him his own show. So they give Mr. Jose Ramon Sanz his own like TV show. And with a team from TV Azteca, they basically went to document and talk to Josue. So Josue, he basically, when he told them, like, hey, I gotta, like, if I'm doing this, I'm gonna have a set of rules that we're gonna follow. And you guys can't question it if you want me to do this.
Yeah.
So basically, he told them, like, you're not gonna know the location of the interview till the day of the interview.
Right.
And
I hear that part of that was rumored because they were saying like he owed some bad people money, or like that could have been part of the reason.
Part of it was he was scared because he supposedly owed people money, and he thought like, hey, being on the water, I'm going to be safe around all these people.
Yeah.
But what he had said was he wanted to meet on a lake, because what he said was that the spirits can't cross the water. Like, I'm safe from the spirits here, and it's going to be perfectly fine.
Which is weird, because you always hear about water amplifying spiritual activity. So, you know, but you got to think about it. If the demon told him that somehow, like, oh, you know, if you're here, we can't get you, like, obviously it's just fucking with him. Or, like, where did he hear that from is my question.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever know, but it makes you wonder.
I want to try to see if we can find this interview and watch it at some point today. But basically, they're saying, like, when they met him, that he had, like, a human bone with him, like a human femur, and he said, like, oh, this protects me from the spirits and all that.
Yeah.
And when he went and, like, he first met everybody noticed that, I think it was on his left hand, he had a black glove, supposed to be covering where, like, the ring is.
Yeah.
He still had possession of the ring. And with everybody else, like, he met the camera guy, he met, like, the other host, and he met with, I think, like, the sound engineer guy.
Yeah.
And he shook all their hands, but with his right hand. And then when he got to Mr. Sanz, he took off the black glove, and he shook his hand with the left one.
Which, I mean, that right there is shady in and of itself.
Yep, but you're not going to be rude. You're not going to be like, no, I'm not going to shake your fucking hand, you weirdo.
Yeah.
Because he didn't think anything of it at the moment. But a lot of people go back now and they watch it, and what happened to Mr. Sanz, everybody believes that Jose, he, it was part of a ritual he had to complete. Because as they said, that he knew he was going to die. So a lot of people think that what happened next was due to that.
Yeah.
So basically, they do the interview, they're talking and all that, and then Juan Ramon Sanz, he says that he's starting to feel like weird. He has like a really bad stomach pain. Like halfway through the interview, you can see like he's sweating and he's like shifting uncomfortably during like the interview. And everybody kind of got like a weird, like eerie feeling from like from being there. And after the interview happens, Juan Ramon confesses that for weeks after meeting Jose, that he heard like strange things started happening to him.
Yeah.
So, in his home. So he felt his bed shake. He felt like there's a wind behind his ear at all times. And he thinks that all this stuff happened because he ended up helping Jose. So, like I said, he felt like the stomach pain during the interview. Yeah. So after the show aired, Juan Ramon passed away due to stomach infection, bacteria in his stomach.
Oh, okay.
And it gets weirder than that, though. So remember, he shook hands with everybody.
Yeah.
But Juan Ramon Sanz was the only one that he shook it with his left hand, where the ring that Rey Salomon was on.
Right.
So King Solomon's ring, it was on his left hand. He's the only person that shook hands with him with his left hand. So after that, the cameraman had to go to the hospital because he had a gallbladder thing going on.
Yeah.
The second host, who like set up the whole meeting and all that, and he was there as well. He was in a car accident. And a little bit after the interview aired, the priest Roberto Gauzo, the guy from like the 9-year interview, back 9 years.
Yeah.
He mysteriously died of like some kind of heart issue. So a lot of people started to think that Josue did all that stuff because he still has the ring.
Well, I mean, the creepier shit too is what listeners were saying. So like one of them was saying that he was a driver for a taxi working 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. while listening to the episode. And he had picked up a woman and her mother, and they were holding something in a blanket. And the thing in the blanket had started twisting and turning, screaming, and like it was a terrifying voice. And when that happened, the taxi became uncontrollable. So he was trying as hard as he could to prevent them from dying in an accident. And the thing in the blanket was a 5-year-old girl. But I guess he's saying you never would have guessed it because of the sounds and the shit that was happening. And the older woman had requested to be taken to a church, and ignoring his advice to head to the hospital, which is never a good idea, but that again adds to the mystique of it. And then when the girl twisted and screamed, the taxi would violently shake, so they believed the girl was possessed. But there was another listener who had heard that same episode, and they recall hearing disembodied voices for weeks after the episode. Another one claims that the volume of her radio turned up on its own and began changing stations, and she was hearing weird noises. There was another one that said during the episode all the items on his desk flew off, and just insanely negative and weird energies.
Yeah. So a lot of people started seeing this and connecting all the dots together, like all the shit that happened.
Yeah.
So their ongoing theory is, if you recall that during the phone call with Josue, like 9 years back.
Yeah.
He had seen the inverted cross with the eye that made him weep because he knew that meant he was going to die.
Right.
So a lot of fans believe that what happened was that he ended up trading Juan Ramon Sanz's life for his own.
Oh,
That's
shit.
why he shook his hand with the left hand with the ring on it and nobody else's. So all in all, it's a pretty fucked up kind of like story if you like really think about it. And like, I know that we have like the air of like disbelief, like with all the paranormal stuff, and I get it. I heard part of the story too, and I was like, there's no way. Like the pig stuff, I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no fucking way that happened.
Right.
But if you really think about it, that's basically what the paranormal is. Like, not everybody's going to believe it, and I get that. There's stuff that's going to sound insane.
Right.
But I feel like our part in this giant, like, orb of, like, air of whatever, like, the conspiracies and all that, and, like, the horror and, like, the paranormal.
Yeah.
I feel our part in this is not to tell you whether it's real or wrong. It's to bring you the information and let you use your own, like, common sense and like knowledge or like your beliefs.
Yeah, because I mean, we could think, oh yeah, he made a deal with the devil, he got possessed, and he had to sacrifice other people to get what he wants, and he said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Other people might say, oh no, he just got lucky, and then unlucky, or unlucky shit happened to the people around him. It's to each his own. But I mean, regardless, everything in that story is trippy as shit.
It is wild. And that's basically what we do. We like bring you guys these stories so you can hear them. Because we have listeners like all over the world, which is insane to me. Like, it's crazy to see like how many people are from like, we operate out of the United States.
Yeah.
But seeing like so many people outside of the United States, like, and then we have a large following in Mexico, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
And then like bringing this story that comes from there, it's like crazy. I like being able to do that, like bringing stories and just letting you guys listen to the stories. And then we have like, I know like hundreds of times I'll listen to a podcast and then afterwards I'll go do my own research. And I think that's the beauty of it, because our followers, they'll hop on our Discord and then they'll like, oh, well, have you heard about this that's related to this or this or this? And I think it's super cool to be able to bring a story like this that like not a lot of people will heard of, or they would have like be able to hear,
Right.
and bring it to everybody else they can hear, and it's like put their own input on it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's definitely an intriguing one, and it leaves your mind to think of about 30 to 40 different things that could have happened, should have happened, maybe happened, didn't happen.
Maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it was planned.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But that also does bring me up to say, yes, anyone that was on the Discord noticed it did disappear. And that is because, one, had to make this April Fool's as realistic as possible, but two, also going to be transitioning from Discord for that to Telegram. So I'm currently working on that, getting it set up. Once it's set up, I will replace the Discord link in the description with that, so just be mindful of that.
I mean, other than that, I think wrap up another episode. Like I said, it's great to be back. I take that little hiatus there.
Hiatus.
I think it was pretty cool to come back with a bang after an April Fool's prank.
Right? It was definitely perfect timing.
Yeah, but other than that, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. We can't do what we do without your guys' support.
Exactly. We love you all.
Yes, we do. And until next time, we'll see you in Helheim.